Welcome to Scalable and Saleable, where we find what great entrepreneurs have done to scale their business to millions. Stay right here for the next few minutes to leverage validated methodologies for growth and create a way more scalable and a way more sellable business for yourself. Let's dive into it. We've got an awesome guest today. Would you mind telling our audience a little bit more about who you are and what your business is?
Absolutely. My name is Mendel Cohen, CEO of Krafted Digital. Our business is a performance marketing agency. So we help a lot of companies in a lot of different industries pretty much, raise awareness, grow their customers, grow their revenue. We work with a lot of software companies, a lot of e-commerce companies. And really what we pride ourselves on doing is creating kind of custom strategies and acting as a partner to all the brands and companies that we work with. We really place a lot of emphasis on knowing, as much as we can about the businesses that we work with, that we market for, the industry, all of that. And we really also look very much into how we can kind of growth hack the most that we can, and how we can, use outside strategies and, all that.
Yeah, you mentioned growth hacking and using different strategies. I'm sure a lot of what you do is testing different things and seeing what works and then trying to optimize the things that are working. What would you say are some of the first things that jump out to you as what you'd attribute your growth to?
Our personal growth or our clients' growth?
I would say your business.
Our business.
Yeah, and I'll say, and if there are a couple things that jump out as like things you've done for other businesses that have attributed to their growth, by all means.
Of course, well, I say, for our business, we look to provide value in every corner that we can, really. As I mentioned, we look at ourselves always like a partner. We want to do our best to collaborate the most that we can with the companies that we work with to really find areas where we can help them grow in every sector. So I would say that, placing a huge emphasis on that is what allowed us to really grow. Being kind of like the right-hand man of marketing to the companies that, that we service for. That's really kind of what made the difference.
Yeah, man. That makes a lot of sense. Because you do work with so many other types of businesses and have seen certain things that working really well. What would you say along the way, based off of all those different past experiences, that if you were coming in, say they handed one of those other businesses just handed you the keys and took off based off of all your past experiences, if you were coming into some different business, what would be some of the first things that you think you'd want to look into to start growing that business?
Of course, well, the first things we like to look into is their previous marketing activities. We like to see what's working from there, what hasn't been working from there. We like to see areas that we can grow and improve on and areas that you have to drop. So I would say that's the first thing we do. We really audit the data, analyze the existing campaigns, see what type of audiences are driving the most engagement, what type of ad creatives, and then build on that. I think that's kind of our go-to strategy.
What would you say from your observations and your unique perspective of all these different businesses, what would you say most businesses do wrong?
I think that a lot of businesses don't take into account the entire marketing funnel. I see that problem a lot. I see a lot of companies focusing just on building awareness without focusing on, continuously building trust with their target audience. I see that happen all the time, and vice versa. A lot of businesses building trust with their current customers and forgetting about, bringing new ones into the pipeline. That's a big mistake. Another one is a mistake on brand identity. I think before any marketing campaign, of any sorts, you have to have specific brand guidelines. You have to have kind of like a formula on how you're going to communicate, how you're going to message. All that's incredibly important, and it's incredibly important to stay consistent behind your brand values.
I got you. Would you say, I know a lot of, they say leaders are readers. Are there any business books that stand out as ones that have been really helpful or more influential?
Yeah, there's one that I like a lot that I highly recommend. It's called Good to Great by Jim Collins. Talks about some of the, you know, biggest corporations and how they kind of passed that benchmark of becoming such a, you know, a leader in the corporate world that, you know, we see today. Um, I think what's amazing in that book is the insights and the trends and how you see that a lot of these big corporations follow a similar, you know, way of doing things and a similar, you know, kind of kind of overall strategy. They have there's a lot of similarities that you see there, and there's a lot of interesting data that, you know,
Yeah.
it brings up as well.
Yeah, I think that that's a great one because it's like even if you read it back when it first came out, like read it now and you'll read it differently. You know, when you get to different stages in your business, you'll
Still
just
applies.
some of that
Always
stuff,
applies.
like yeah, hedgehog concept, the flywheel. Like
Yeah.
if this isn't making any sense to you guys watching, get that book again, get for the first time, get the audio book, get the written book. But that, yeah, for sure, I'll second your suggestion there for sure. What would you say is a question that I should be asking you, but I haven't yet?
That's a great question.
Because
I would say
you
that
know more about what
what
you
a
know
lot of
than I know.
what I get asked a lot is which marketing avenue I think will be very big in the coming years into the future.
Mhm. Yeah.
And for that, I have one answer really, and it's influencer marketing. I see that, you know, rising up within many brands. I think that that's an amazing, amazing marketing channel for so many reasons. You know, you can take cover in you can cover a lot of parts of the marketing funnel with that. You have these influencers which have a lot of awareness and at the same time they have a lot of trust. So I think, you know, those two are really important for any business to build awareness and trust. And I think influencers build both of those very, very well with many, many brands. So I think that many companies looking to up their marketing, you know, to improve their marketing strategies should really add that in.
Yeah, and so when you say influencer marketing, I know some businesses might think like, oh, well, we're small, we can't afford like some big, huge, we can't afford Kim Kardashian. They go
Of
probably
course.
right to the top of the. But could you just really quickly give an example of where a smaller business might be able to get a maybe smaller level influencer, but still could make an impact?
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's a myth. So there's many different types of influencers. You have the micro influencers, then you have the celebrities. So I would
Mm,
say that the micro influencers in many cases have more power because they have a more niche following. They have a following that really trust their word, and they're not so costly. So even for little budgets, even for little companies, those can be, you know, those can be great. Those can be extremely powerful to your business.
yeah, and so I guess you're saying maybe instead of trying to find this one huge influencer, find maybe 10 smaller
Exactly. Yeah.
influencers and that could still have an impact. That's awesome, man. Um, any parting words of advice or wisdom to entrepreneurs in the trenches watching this that are looking at a maybe scary next 18 months? Anything you would leave with them?
I would say that for brands and entrepreneurs running businesses, that these 18 months are going to require maybe a lot of pivoting. We don't really know where the economy is going to go, um, but I think that it's important that, you know, within the next 18 months you know, some companies might have to decrease marketing spend or decrease budgeting in many places, but I think what's important to do is to continuously keep in touch with your customer base and show them that you're there for them, and that's really going to make the difference.
Yeah, I agree. And I would even say for some of them, probably letting off the gas of their marketing might be the worst thing that they could do. They might want to push it down even more in just a different ways. But man, that was
In some
awesome.
cases,
Thank
that's true. Yeah, I wouldn't say in all, you know, but in some
you.
cases, that's definitely true.
Yeah, man. Awesome. That was really helpful, man. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Jeff.